if I told you that I tried like 7 times to film this video, you wouldn't believe me. But I'm not giving up because this is an important video and it needs to come out there no matter how many blocks I have in my path. So I want to talk about our erotic mindset and the fact that whenever we're in crisis, trouble sometimes, whenever we hit a plateau in our intimate lives, the first thing that gets us out is our mindset. And I have, in my perspective, come up with 4 things that are essential to our mindset. Take it as my perspective, take it as something that might or might not resonate with you, hear it out, and then you can judge for yourselves if this is going to help you or not. So, step number 1, or element number 1, our foundational definition. Element number 2, our recovery mindset. Element number 3, our relationship to practice. And element number 4, faith and patience. I'll explain each one of them. I'll try to give examples. So, number 1, foundational definition. Believe it or not, in every area of our lives, before beliefs and everything, we have a definition, or sometimes more. The idea is that maybe we planted it there intentionally, or maybe we picked it up unconsciously from our surrounding. Maybe it was imposed on us through our upbringing, or it was just let's say, manipulated into us through our media, culture, whatever other sources of entertainment that we have, social circles, you name it. The idea is that we have a frame, or we are primed in each area of our lives in a certain way, and this is also the case with our erotic life. I'll give you some examples of foundational definitions. Usually people have just one, but the more you sit and think about it, maybe you will come up with 2. But this is like the essence of the very essence, what you would, how do I say this? Filter out after every other noisy thing from your mind is being taken away. So here are some examples. Example number 1, sex is ever present. Example number 2, sex is a resource or a healing modality, or it helps. Example number 3, sex is a distraction. Example number 4, sex is a sin. And I could go on like this. And I'm giving these examples not necessarily as good or bad examples, they are just examples. And the more you sit down to think about this, you might come with one basic, elementary, like ground zero, foundational definition for yourself. Based on this, everything else is built. And whenever you hit a crisis, your foundational definition shows how you are primed, what the frame is to manage that. Whenever you hit a plateau, like you're all rosy, all great in your relationship, and you've just reached plateau, your foundational definition is the one that will dictate what you do about it, if you do anything about it. Because you can also have avoiding foundational definitions. Number 2, your recovery mindset. Now, based on my understanding so far, we can talk about a recovery mindset only for people that have supportive foundational definitions, or just sexually positive foundational definitions. If your definition is neutral or unsupportive of your sex life, then you don't have any recovery mindset. Whenever you hit plateau or crisis, you don't recover anything because it's either not important to you, or it's really you're on the negative side and you don't want to hear about it. So only in the positive side, so positive definitions, can we speak of recovery mentality. And I'll give you an example. We've reached crisis, so I'm in crisis, because let's say we speak about I, so first person. I'm in crisis, I'm in plateau, I'm whatever, I'm single, I'm celibate, I'm broken up, whatever I am. And my mentality says, or my recovery mindset says, I gotta take initiative, take action. So hit the bed, work on it. Or hit Tinder, get hooked up, work on it. Open YouPorn. I'm just giving you an example. Hey, you don't know what people use as recovery mindsets. Hit YouPorn and take action. I mean, don't just sit there. You gotta release the tension. What else could it be? I have a best friend with benefits, or just friend with benefits. Call them up, booty call, and let's work on it. So basically, your recovery mindset is going to get you to act in one way or another, because you gotta act, you gotta do something. Just as love is a verb, well, sex should be a verb also. You gotta have sex. I mean, you can't, like, you need to express yourself in this plane, in this 3D dimension or reality, whatever you want to call it. You have to express, you have to physically do something also, because you are living in a material and physical reality. So your recovery mindset is going to get you to do things. Sometimes it might be sit down, do a meditation for your erotic energy. Why not? That's also a recovery mindset. You can have as many recovery mindset as you like. The idea is that you have them if your definition, so point number 1, is positive. Number 3, your relationship to practice. Now, when I use practice, I'm pompously pointing out the fact that our sexual impulse is cyclical, just like breath is cyclical, food, water, rest, working out, cleansing, bathing, everything about life is cyclical, including our sexual impulse. And it's not that we have sex once, or we do something once and then we're done and good for the rest of our lives. That doesn't exist. I want to believe that we are not as square-headed to think that as maybe some people out there are. So practice, what I'm implying here, is the fact that we consciously do things repeatedly. In crisis or plateau mode. Like if everything is flowing, you don't need practice. You're just expressing freely. Practice is deliberate, and it's a solution for when things are rough. And the reverse of practice, so the absence of practice, leaves you exposed to whatever, your sexual impulses can get the best of you. You can be attracted to, unavailable people all of a sudden, because you haven't really had your practice, you haven't expressed, you haven't done anything, and you're in plateau, in crisis, you're in a bad place. So you're vulnerable to anything. And you don't necessarily have a wise switch in that moment where you can really judge, is this good or not for me? You can really be attracted to somebody or turned on or whatever who's unavailable, who's like toxic to you, who's turned out to be bad for you in the past also, and it just keeps coming back to you because you're not in a good place and you don't work on it. Or you're just turned on by somebody new, somebody whatever, when you're really supposed to be focusing on something else. So that attraction gets in your way to do the things that are really super important for you in your life at that time. And you don't even realize it. You become aware of that when it's too late, when you've missed opportunities. So a healthy relationship to practice when you're in crisis mode is, it's part of your mentality, and it's a resource. So it basically helps. And the fourth element, faith and patience. As with anything, whenever you hit a low, a plateau, a crisis, you need time to get back on track. It's the same in sports or, with professional athletes. If they've taken breaks, or if they were forced to take breaks, their body is going to need time to get back to performance. It's not going to happen overnight. I mean, I've skipped practice or workouts or training for 2 months, and then the first workout, I'm better than I was in my highs. No, your body needs time to get back on track. So it's the same with your erotic expression. Whenever you start getting back on track, so you have, you've passed the point of recovery mindset and you're already in a practice, then you need to have faith that that practice is going to work, whatever it is. And you need to have patience to give your body time to get back to where it was, when it was flowing. And basically, this is, in a nutshell, what I'm referring to as erotic mindset or mentality. I don't know how this feels for you, if this helps or not, but whenever I work with people on their mindset, I look at these 4 elements. Whether I present them as structured as I did in this video or not, the idea is that I work around all of those aspects, because I'm not as good to get people to miraculously change overnight and just experience passionate, intense orgasms overnight and stay there for the rest of their lives. Like, I wished I was that good, but sadly I'm not. So I'm the type of person that looks at more in terms of daily approach, perspectives, mindset, work around it, just like you would do with any other area of your life. I mean, it's all the same, whether you're talking about your nutrition, health, work, relationships, family, hobbies, building a home, planting trees, planting a forest, and so on. It's all in the daily grind, and the background for that daily grind to go towards the good, towards the positive, constructive. So that's it. Those are the 4 elements for the erotic mindset. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you resonate with this, because I really haven't read about this anywhere. I just came up with it for myself and for my practice, for my approach to sexuality. And if it's good for you, maybe you can take something out of this and use it. So I'd love to hear from you. And yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next days. And have a wonderful lockdown. Keep the faith, keep the love, keep the sex. Bye.